guys, today I want to talk to you about one of the most important skills when it comes to using colour pencils. I'm going to teach you how to blend, and to do this I'll be showing you with Prismacolor pencils. There are loads of different ways that you can use colour pencils to blend, but today I'm going to be showing you my 3 favourites, and stay tuned until the end because I will be showing you a bonus tip as well. I've chosen Prismacolor pencils for this video because they are wax-based pencils. That means that the lead is far softer than oil-based, and as a result they blend much easier. Let me show you. Now for this first method I'm going to show you how to blend using layering. This is where the colours built up slowly by using the pencil very lightly. And you can see as I start adding the colour here how lightly I'm pressing with the pencil. One trick that you can try if you're struggling to apply consistently light pressure is to hold the pencil further back. By doing this, it won't be possible for you to press hard and you'll end up with the smooth coverage you're after. One of the benefits of working in a series of lighter layers is it doesn't matter too much how you go about putting the pencil down on the paper. I personally like to work in little circular motions, but I know that some people like to work on diagonals or by doing cross-hatching. You'll notice that as I go through each colour, I'm not stopping each colour with a really hard line. I'm allowing one colour to overlap into the next colour and feathering it out at the edges. This is where the blending is occurring. Now that I've built up a few layers, you can see that there is a decent amount of pigment down on the paper, but there is still quite a few white places left. So what I want to do is to burnish, which will remove the white spots and finish this off. To burnish, you need to apply a little bit more pressure, and this will flatten the texture of the paper. It gives it that nice shiny look and it removes all of those white spots. Where one colour meets another, I'm burnishing with the lighter colour. And you can see that once I've done this, I've got this really nice neat gradient. And that was method 1. I would say that that is the simplest method. It's practical in that you don't need any other materials except for the colour pencils, and you end up with the most vibrant colour. Method 2 that I'm going to show you also creates a very nice gradient, but it is far less vibrant, it's a far lighter colour that it creates. So we're going to start this in exactly the same way to method 1. I'm going to apply the colour using little circular motions again and still being very light with the pencil. And I'm going to build up the same number of layers as I did in method 1, except when it comes to burnishing, I'm going to use a different colour. So now I've got all of the pigment down, I'm going to use the white pencil. And I'm going to burnish the whole strip all with the white pencil. So I'm going to work from the lightest side, from the left-hand side, and just work my way along. And you can see that this is blending all of the colours together very nicely, but it doesn't create that same vibrancy as we had in method 1. As you burnish with the white pencil, you'll find that it gets blunt quite fast. It is so important to sharpen your pencils regularly. And actually that's the case for whichever method you're using. Now I've mentioned that burnishing with the white pencil doesn't create as vibrant colour. It is, however, very easy, because you don't need to worry about blending from one colour to another whilst burnishing. You're just going over the whole lot all in one go. Let's move on to method 3, and for this method I will be using a solvent called Zest It. This is a little bit different to the previous methods because instead of burnishing, we're going to use the solvent to break down the pigment and blend it all together. So, just as we did last time, we're going to put down the pigment in the same way. You do need to make sure you get a decent amount of pigment down on the paper though, because you need to have something for the solvent to be able to break down. So you can see that I have pretty much got this to the same point as before I would have burnished. But this time I'm going to use a paintbrush and I'm going to paint on some of this Zest It. You don't have to use Zest It, and I have made a video where I cover some of the different solvents you could use, so do check out the link in the description for that. So I'm just going to get my paintbrush a little bit damp, I don't want it dripping, and I'm going to start from the lightest colour and work my way along from there. And you can see I'm just gently painting it on, and it very quickly all blends together faster than it would if I was burnishing. So those are my 3 main methods that it is well worth trying. But let's move on to the bonus tip. How can you use these methods in a real drawing? I'm going to talk to you about how I drew this squirrel's tail. It is built up through blending, but not creating the perfectly smooth colour blends that we've been making so far. So in order to do something like this tail, we need to create a lot of texture first. So I'm going to use a few different colours to start building up these strokes of fur. I'm going to start with some of the lighter colours and work up to the darker colours. And then when I get to the point that I'm happy with the texture, I'm happy with the colour, but I want to blend them all together, I'm going to burnish with a light pink. From my reference photo, I can see that there is a little bit of light pink in here, so I'm going to use that as it's a light colour to blend all of these together. You can see that the colours are blended, but they still have their texture. And you can use this for all sorts of different effects, depending on what you're drawing. Now, those are my 3 favourite ways of blending Prismacolor. It is well worth practicing all of them because each of them will be used in different situations, depending on what you're trying to achieve. And don't forget, you can modify the methods, just like I did with the squirrel, where I basically used method 1, but just adapted it for the squirrel's fur. I want to hear from you guys too. If you've got a favourite method that I haven't covered in this video, do let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you found this video helpful, give it a like. Don't forget to click the subscribe and the notify bell so you never miss an art tutorial. Happy drawing, guys. I'll see you in the next one.